Okay, here is my first version of the time clock that I built running on a Windows CE device, and this is what I'm kind of trying to take the functionality of it and move it to Android. I'll run through it quick on how it works and we'll talk about it a little bit. Hit project clocks. You come into your clocks here. I only had 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we had to clear those out and start over again. But we'll go and we'll start us a new clock, show you how that works. You go to the new clock, you hit start. It starts that clock down there. You can see it's green. It's tracking time when it's green. It tracks, the yearly, the total time, and the daily time. The daily time clears out at midnight every night. As soon as it sees it roll over into a new day, it'll zero it out and restart that daily time at 0. On the elapsed timer here, you hit start. You can see that elapsed timer start. It is in minutes and seconds. Anything above these buttons then become touch sensitive. You can just tap anywhere out here and it'll count you a load and restart your elapsed timer. If you notice down the bottom corner of this other clock, it has a number 62 that keeps track of your total load counts for that job. As long as you never clear this job out, that total load counts will stay there. You'll clear your load counts out over here every day, but your total load counts for the whole project will stay up there in the corner of the total time. To clear stuff out, just hit stop. Nothing is no longer touch sensitive up here. You hit the clear, go to the clear screen. You'll see I can highlight anything I want to clear on this here. So I want to clear out my load counts. I have to enter a pin, which is just 0, and then I hit clear, and that clears that out. I go back and I'm back in my clock. My load count's cleared out to 0. I still have 10 in the total time there, and that pretty much covers that clock. One thing this clock does that is when you pull the power from it, it counts down here in the corner and then it goes off, which it stopped. It's no longer recording time when it's off. Let me try that again. So it counts down. When the external power is pulled, the clock goes off. It's no longer counting time. If you come back in, apply power to it, it comes back on and resumes counting time. You can turn it back on, full external power, it goes off. If you do turn it back on, it will count time on battery until the battery dies. This is for they're running these in tractors, and when they hop out of their tractor for lunch and turn the key off, the external power goes off, their clock quits counting time over lunch. When they come and climb back in their tractor after lunch, turn the key back on, their clock comes back on and resumes counting time. We'll go to the calendar. It saves all these to the calendar every day. I will have to scroll back here till several years back. It's been several years since this clock's been used. Go back to something that had time on it. So you tap the calendar, it displays the job name, the amount of hours, and the last one is your load counts for that job. You can scroll down through all your clocks, which there's only 4 of them, but if there had been 4 names there, it'd show every one for that day. So every day it's going to display the amount of hours that were on that job for that day and load counts. Go back to menu. When you're through with a job and you cleared it out, it would put it in this total time list. It would tell you the date that you cleared that clock out, the name of the job, and how many hours was on it, and the last one was how many load counts were on there. Fairly simple. Basically, what we're looking to do is to track, these guys run heavy equipment. That the beginning of the year, they climb in their equipment, start their clocks, and they're just tracking the amount of hours that they spend on that equipment actually working on a job. It tracks their yearly time for the entire year. It tracks their total time. That's just the time for that job. And a lot of times they'll get 60 to 100 hours on a job before they move on to the next one. Of course, daily time just tracks the amount of time for that day. It saves this all to a calendar as well to a total time list, so that when they move off that job and they want to get paid on it, they can go back and look up that total time on that job and submit those hours to get paid. One more thing, in the clear screen here, you can highlight and clear each time for each job except for the yearly. When you put 0 in, which is my code for clearing everything else, it will not clear the yearly. You have to have a 6-digit code to clear the yearly so that you don't accidentally clear it. But when I can clear the yearly just like that right there. To where you set those pins, you go into settings. You can set time and date on this device, but you can set pins. Set your daily pin and your yearly pin.